Hi, I'm Inga, the owner and acupuncturist here at Wisdom Ways Acupuncture, back to talk today about the metal element related to the season of the fall and to the organs of the lungs and to the large intestine, and emotionally to grief and sadness, but also to the experiences of wisdom and integrity and inspiration. I'm going to talk about three things. First, I'll explain the energy of the metal element and how it relates to the fall. Second, I'm going to talk about some common qualities of metal type people. And third and last, I'll give a few tips on how we can work to keep our own metal element, which we all have in us, balanced. To start, let's look at the 5 elements chart and where we are here in the cycle. We just left the earth element related to what we call the late summer. Think of it as the harvest season. And now things are really starting to wind down and to move down and inward energetically. Where do we see this in nature? Well, we actually see it all around us. The most obviously being the leaves falling from the trees as they move back to the earth, the sun that's moving low on the horizon, and for some people, unfortunately, they can feel themselves falling emotionally as well, the longer those days of summer and brightness fall behind us. But in the same way that there's just no way around the fact that trees must release those leaves back to the earth, energetically, the metal element is about that natural cycle of letting go in our own lives, of just releasing, and also a time of bringing the scattered energies of the prior seasons more internally. I know we can all relate to that when we're forced into a time of having to let go. Unfortunately, that does mean going through those harder emotions of the grief and the sadness and the loss. Since metal relates to the large intestine, not being able to let go of what's not serving us can turn physical, and it can turn into holding on in that way as well, meaning constipation. But in all this talk of letting go, it can sound like this whole season is just about grief and sadness and endings and loss, but it's not true, because think about what happens during the climax of fall. Depending on where we live, we're surrounded by these gorgeous trees and stunning fall colors. So right at the time of year when the fun long days of summer are over and the flowers are dying and we're about to get plunged into months of darkness, we get this absolute just crescendo of like jewels just falling all around us, just blowing everywhere. And it's like the earth is giving its last dying magnum opus of magic before it falls back into itself. To me, nature's stunning example of letting go is a clue that there's something precious and beautiful to be had for us as well in that letting go process and in turning inward, if we can tune into our own metal element and get the benefits of it. So what are those benefits? In the season of metal, just as precious metals contain value, the metal element reminds us to focus intently and only on the things that add value to our lives, that inspire us, and just let the rest go. Metal is related to the lungs. And what do we do with our lungs? We inspire, and in the same way, when we align with what inspires us, with what's valuable, we bring the inspiration needed to pull us through those harder times, the challenging times, the times of confusion. And in fact, for metal types, pursuing activities that inspire them are non-negotiable for their happiness. And on the note of happiness, metal problems can show up as depression, because what is depression but the experience of having lost all that inspiration for life? People with metal imbalance can feel like all the sun, all the fire has just left their life, and not just in this season, but really all year round. So helping us let go of what no longer serves us, and then that energy of being inspired and using inspiration to keep us both emotionally uplifted and continuously pursuing goals that are valuable to us. Those are two huge benefits of metal. Now, metal types tend to be very interested in integrity and spirituality, and really feeling an inner connection with our own divine nature. With the winding down of the seasons, even if we're not metal types, when our metal is balanced, we look forward to that internal, that turn inward that connects us to our guidance. We appreciate any season of quiet and reflection, and make time really all year round for that quiet and reflection, and time to learn to trust and listen to our own inner wisdom to keep us on track and to guide us through life, making sure our pursuits line up with our personal beliefs and that sense of integrity that's so important to us. So, a third gift and benefit of the metal is that ability to turn into your own wisdom as your guide in life and your compass for acting in alignment with your own truth. So now that we know some of the qualities of the metal, the pros and cons, the benefits and challenges of the element, let's move into tips on what we can do to help keep our metal elements balanced. One of the simplest ways that I love to use the 5 elements clinically is just to pull in the energies of the other elements to really support the one that's out of balance. So I'll give a few examples. First, let's go back and talk about that person with depression, where it's as if all the sun, all the brightness has left their life. Being metal myself, I know that strong metal types can tend to take themselves and life very seriously, and especially if they don't make time, make sure to nurture those other qualities in themselves, in their personality as well. If you watched my fire video, then you know that fire is all about fun and lightheartedness and joy and connection and play. And metal types can easily feel like these things are just silly or frivolous and just a waste of time, and they're more lofty goals of taking on all the weight of the world on their shoulders and solving all the world's ills. And these things really just make an already imbalanced metal person even more imbalanced. So fire controls metal. So for a metal type who's feeling cut off from joy in life, or finding themselves kind of righteously taking themselves too seriously, they need to make a conscious effort to spend time in activities that are for nothing more than just recreation and connection and play. Second, let's talk about the metal type who might have constipation. Maybe they also hold on to everything in life and they're unable to just let go, they just grasp, either literally like hoarding or accumulating clutter, or emotionally with grievances or relationships that aren't serving them or bringing goodness into their lives. They need to find ways to nurture that ability to release. This can often mean therapy, can be really helpful, but one of the best things that I find for really any type of person is meditation, to really help you connect in with the tools you'll need to release and let go. We cannot create space in our lives for the birth of something new, for a new season of life, for the cycle to continue, if our life is already stuffed full of crap that's not serving a purpose. So my last tip for working on burdensome metal energy relates to nurturing our wood element. Spring and new growth is all about wood energy, and wood energy is all about movement and getting unstuck. So if you feel depressed because you're stuck, because you can't let go no matter how crappy a situation is, then go watch my wood video and read my many blog posts where I write about the wood element and the liver, because it's all about busting through. Working on nurturing your wood energy by being able to set and then move forward with goals and create a vision for your life that inspires you to move forward can really help move up that stuck, depressed metal energy. I hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it has really helped you understand the benefits of metal and how it can help you to tune in to your own inspiration and wisdom, and to let go of things that aren't serving you anymore, not just in the season of fall, but really in any season of your life.